This started on the 12th of May. We've had 11 shows, 80 plus matches, and now we're down to the final two of the Best of Super Juniors 30 tomorrow, the 28th of May. But today's update, we're going to talk about the last block matches and your update for the semi-finals of this year's Best of the Super Juniors. And then maybe I can get a good sleep. So, yep, I'm back again. As you can see, I'm quite tired from this, and it's been a lot of wrestling. But tomorrow, yes, we have the final of Best of the Super Juniors. But before we can get to that, this is sort of going to be your last update before we get to that final. And we're going to start off with quickly giving the results of Day 10. It was the last of all the block matches, and it was definitely a lot of fun and definitely interesting. So, look, we're going to start off first. So, Bushi defeated Francesco Akira, which means Bushi, I think that he didn't really have a great tournament, but it was nice to see him finish on a high. Francesco Akira's also had a bit of a mixed tournament. He's looked pretty good as well. After that, then we had a nice brawl between Dan Maloney of the United Empire and Clark Connor of Bullet Club, with Dan Maloney coming out on top of that match as well. It was good to see Dan Maloney pick up a good couple of victories just before the end as well. He's definitely made a name for himself bigger out there in Japan, and he's looked fantastic representing the UK. So definitely go support him. After that, then we got one of the semi-finalists going through. So it was Master Wato defeating Kevin Knight, and Master Wato picked up the win, sent him through to the semi-finals, which was I knew they were going to push Master Wato in this tournament. I didn't think they were going to put him right into the semi-final spot, but I was happy to see that. After that, then we had Karumaru defeating Yo, and obviously, again, both these guys had a mixed tournament, I felt. Karumaru started off quite strong with a couple of wins, and I thought maybe they'll push him in the tournament. Didn't really work out that way for them. And the same with Yo. I expected a bit more from Yo. But again, they didn't have bad tournaments, but they didn't have great tournaments. And the last match of the night was El Desperado defeating Robbie Eagles to book his place also in the semi-finals for Best of the Super Juniors. And El Desperado has always been one of he's always been one of the favorites with the crowds as well, especially his performance with Wato at Wrestle Kingdom this year in that fatal four-way was fantastic. So I have no problem with these two both being in the semi-final. I thought it made sense, and we were definitely going to be looking forward to seeing the semi-final matches. So on to the semi-finals, which happened on Friday on the 26th. So it was day 11 of the tournament. And obviously before we have the semi-finals, we had all the mixed tag matches, which were fun to watch and they helped build future storylines. But let's get into the actual semi-finals. So the first semi-final, as I said, both these matches were fantastic to watch. Really enjoyed both these two semi-finals, as you should. It gets to this point in the tournament. And so it was Master Wato taking on Speedball Mike Bailey, and the way it worked is Master Wato was the runner-up of Block B, Mike Bailey was the winner of Block A, and vice versa for the other semi-final. And also, this was the first semi-final in the Best of Super Juniors since 2014, going back to the old system. And trust me, I want to see these two go at it again. These both showed great athleticism in the ring, as you expect from both these guys, and it was a good mixture of the battle between sort of Master Wato's speed and Mike Bailey's kicks. And I've always said during this tournament, you don't want to get into a battle with Mike Bailey and his kicks. His kicks are fantastic, so they are. But Master Wato was definitely giving him. The crowd was split. Because they've endeared themselves to Speedball Mike Bailey. He is just fitted in so well, and all his matches have been great. The Japanese fans, I've loved it, but also Wato being sort of a New Japan not original obviously, but like he's homegrown, that they want to see him obviously, and he's been proved, as I say, he had a really good Wrestle Kingdom match, and I knew after watching that match they would give him a push. But I thought they'd give him some good wins. I didn't think they were going to push Wato to the semi-final. But as I say, these two just went back and forth. There was some brilliant some really good spots in this match, some great near falls, stuff like at one point Wato had Bailey in a hold, and I thought Bailey was going to tap, but then somehow gets out of it. But then Wato reverses this into his, I really love enjoying it when he does his crucifix bombs into the pin. I think when he does that correctly, Wato can make that look fantastic. We also get into another near fall spot, which I actually thought was the finish, because it looked painful to take. So obviously all tournament we've been watching Bailey do the double knee spot, which looks, I've always said, looks horrible to take. But he does one on the apron, which was just, that looks sore as well. And then he puts Wato into the middle of the ring, does another double knees off the top rope, I think. And I thought that was the end of the match, but no, it was a near fall. Wato kicked out of that match. And I said this was just great athleticism in this match. And you could tell the last 5 minutes of this match, the crowd are just split. I feel slightly they were actually cheering for Wato more. And trust me, then, because the pop when, because the crowds are allowed to cheer again. But then when Master Wato, he won this match with another of his high German suplexes. That's scored him quite a few pins in this tournament. And I must admit, I was slightly shocked at that. Makes kind of sense now to put in the, give Wato that push, as Mike Bailey is a pretty established name already. But I did expect Bailey to go into the final. I kind of wanted to see Bailey in the final, but I have no quiver of watching Wato in the final. He was brilliant in the semi-final, and I think the crowd are really behind him now. And this is definitely a win to put in his book, in his CV for Mr. Master Wato. But as I go your way to go watch this semi-final match, I really enjoyed it, especially the last couple minutes. It was just full on. Oh, it was fantastic. Some of the kicks again from Bailey, I don't know how he does it. Like, he's so good. He makes him look so devastated. But say Master Wato wins. He moves on to tomorrow's final, and we're going to see, because it gets really interesting, because I had an idea who I thought would be the final. I didn't expect this. So look, let's move on to the other semi-final. So after that, we had the next semi-final, and in this one, it was the Block B winner, El Desperado, taking on the A Block run-up in Titan. And Titan was another one I thought would get a decent push, but I didn't think they would send him to the semi-finals. But I tell you what, the crowd during this tournament, and from previous tournaments as well, just again, they just build the love for Titan, and the crowd were cheering him on when he came out. Don't get me wrong, El Desperado as well has his following. I'm a big Desperado fan too. Obviously, he was in that really good deathmatch last year with Yun Kasai. This is another one to watch. This was another fantastic. After watching Wato and Bailey go at it, I was definitely intrigued to see how this match was going to play out. And LIJ came out with their support for Titan, and they all had sort of El Immortal Titan t-shirts on. A bit of psychology. You knew they weren't really going to get involved, but you knew it was a bit of psychology for, against El Desperado having all of LIJ come out. And unlike the previous semi-final, this match started off a little bit slower. It started off with holes. It started off with great mat work. Both these guys showed respect. I felt like in both semi-finals it was all baby faces in this but during this match, I wouldn't say El Desperado was the heel, but you could tell the fans were definitely more into Titan when in this match. So yeah, Titan was holding his own. He had great athleticism. But then anytime he sort of showed great athleticism, El Desperado would show his experience and his ruthlessness as well with some of the hits he was giving Titan in this match. The crowd, though, they kept going behind, they kept getting behind Titan more and more. Anytime he tried to make his comeback, we had a big leap from Titan from the stands as well, which was a nice spot for the fans. And unlike American fans, the Japanese fans are just a bit more well-behaved and not as distracted. So that was a great spot actually to watch. It was a fantastic leap from Titan, and as he's making the leap on the ground, you can see LIJ willing Titan on, trying to go. You see Hiromu just on his knees, just screaming at Titan to get up. So there was like more great spots in this match once they finally get back into the ring. One of my favorite spots was Titan does this brilliant reversal from the top on El Desperado to turn it into a tornado DDT, and his tornado DDTs look fantastic, and El Desperado sold it fantastically as well. When they do the flip onto their heads, it just looks amazing. And then there was other reverses. There was another reversal from Titan to put into a destroyer. I haven't seen too many Canadian destroyers actually in this tournament, so that was really cool to see. But you saw got the story of Titan, kind of a bit like Master Wato in the semi-final, taking the high risk for the high rewards in this match, and you're just hoping that it didn't fall apart for Titan at this point, because again, I still had Desperado to go over in this match. So I didn't. But as I say, and then with El Desperado constantly going for Titan's legs, But my goodness, did we get another shock? If Master Wato beat Bailey wasn't a shock, we got Titan. Now he went through with a submission with the El Immortal. And you know, when he hooks his hands around that bloody chin, a lot of guys will tap out to that. To watch El Desperado tap out, what a shock. LIJ celebrating. It was a brilliant win for Titan. And tomorrow we are going to get Master Wato versus Titan. Two baby faces I thought they would give a good push. Didn't think they were going to put both of these guys in the final. I can't wait to see the crowd's reaction. They're going to be split right down the middle tomorrow for this match. And I think it's going to be intriguing because I don't think any of these guys have won Best of Super just before. And I think what will be very interesting is stuff like, well, you got Titan from LIJ in there, who said they wanted to win their 5th tournament this year. Hiromu. So I reckon if Titan wins, we might get an interesting storyline between him and Hiromu. But then if Master Wato wins, we could build up feuds for him as well. But we'll have to wait and see. So look, come back tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, I should have the final report on the final update for Best of Super Juniors final tomorrow, and then I could finally get back to sort of normal reality in a way. But I hear that they're probably going to be making some G1 announcements. That's another tournament I've got to look forward to and review as well. But look, you guys have a great day today. I hope you guys watch the final tomorrow. I will be a bit later in watching just because of work again. The second I get home, I'll be watching that final. I'll be reviewing that final, and then we could just enjoy Best of Super Juniors because it's been a fantastic tournament so far, and I can't wait for this final tomorrow. But you guys have a really good day tomorrow.